I'm Red Beard the Hippy here with Tetrifuse doing a online interview doohickey thing that we have no clue what the hell it is, but we'll figure it out as we go. I just got done listening to their Hearts Nature album. Guys, that is a fucking impressive album. From the get go,
Thank
I
you, man.
just kind of, it just had that real tribal, primitive feel where at the beginning and then you hear, fuck yeah! All right, I know where this is going, and the whole thing is solid all the way through. Like it's got parts where it kind of like it does that wave through thing where it's like okay, you're really brutal, and then it kind of goes really melodic and kind of slows down a little bit, and then picks right back up and kicks you right back in the ass, and you're just like okay, this is ongoing. And there's only two of you guys in the band.
Well, there's three official members right now. We do have a bass player who's on hiatus due to some like personal stuff, but yeah, in terms of like performing and actively like writing, it's just us two right now.
Oh, right on. And who does what parts? Like
So we're both
for guitar player, drummer.
yeah, so we're both guitar players, so we kind of it depends on the song for that. I do a lot of the rhythm stuff. He does a lot of the lead stuff. Um, I would say, yeah, drum parts they're normally me, unless he has like an idea he wants to shoot me. Bass parts, that's just kind of whoever comes up with a cool bass part. if that,
Yeah.
it's a pretty open ended process, honestly.
Yeah. It's no like set in stone thing. Pretty much we kind of go for whatever fits the album the best. That's what we want. So we don't really care who does what as long as it sounds good. You know, for the business, for the band, that's what we want.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense because I know just from doing band stuff before, you'd get an idea and you'd shoot it, but like I was a vocalist, I couldn't play any other instrument, but it's like, ooh, do that thing again. It's like that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Uh,
Okay, now you match that, and then do some fill work here, and they're like, "How do you don't even know what you're talking about?" No, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And then on live performances, how do you guys do that? Because I haven't been able to see you guys live because I think there was a couple shows that I wanted to catch, but due to work related restrictions and
Life
finances
happens,
and
man.
all that. Because I know you guys played that one. There was a show in Topeka. I think it was like March of last year, or end of last year, that I think had Hemlock on it. Is that one you guys were on?
Um, I can't remember. Were we supposed to play in Topeka with Hemlock?
um, I don't think so. It's like usually when we play Topeka, it's usually like our own headlining shows. Um, we usually try and bring out our buddies from Ashes out there, a local Topeka band. But um,
Oh, what
trying to
was
remember.
we were on the Dropout Kings one. I technically didn't play that show, but we were on the Dropout Kings bill.
Oh yeah, that was the show, Dropout King. So that was a fun show.
No, I think it was like metal stock or
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
play Metal Stock.
yeah. We
okay.
headlined the first night of Metal Stock.
That's what it was because I knew it was like Topeka area. Like I'm up in
Oh
Nebraska,
yeah,
so just trying
Yeah,
to remember where certain areas are and
yeah. I forget Melbourne's like out towards Topeka to some people. To me, it's just
yeah,
like out in the middle of nowhere, like
yeah,
out where I grew up.
well, it is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's kind of where you have to have a metal fest is just out in the fucking boonies, anyways. Because
yeah.
Yeah, that place is fun,
yeah,
but
because I was wanting to make it to that show because like half the bands on that bill are like, oh, I want to see those, but restrictions and work restrictions, and we were so swamped that I just couldn't get away. And
yeah,
that I think from where I'm at, it's like a 4.5 or 5 hour drive, and it's just like 60-hour work weeks, and trying to do that.
that's rough.
Yeah.
And then do a 2 day festival, and then turn around on Sunday and drive all the way back, and then turn around on Monday and try to do it all over again. It's a rough
Yeah.
life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, so how we pull it off live is we have had a live drummer for a while. We don't currently have an official member, but our original drummer back in 2018, he's actually a session musician. So him just kind of out of the love of metal and us being friends, he plays quite a bit of shows with us. And if we can't play a show with him, then we do have like backing tracks that we can like last minute throw together. Be like, okay, it's just gonna be us two, or it's just gonna be us and a bass player. Um, it's kind of a case by case thing where we just kind of have to roll with whatever happens at this point.
and then you guys kind of make it work. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we recently been invested in ears for this exact reason, so we can, whatever happens, the show can go on. Last week and this other week, we actually just used my computer and this little doohickey right here for the past two shows, and it was just me and Landon on stage. I won't lie, the first week we didn't get a good sound check, so it was a little muddy. But man, oh man, a few days ago when we played, it sounded great, man.
oh,
And
right
I was
on.
like, damn, that almost makes me not want to have a drummer sometimes, especially in a small place in the booby trap, dude.
Oh, the booby
Booby
trap.
trap is small.
That is. Everybody knows it, and everybody that's ever played there is like, this is a shithole venue, but everybody keeps going back because it's like, okay, the stage is okay. Don't move. You got to play like this so you don't accidentally run into the other player. The other people on stage. Little dinky ass hole in the wall bar, and it's been the same since I think I played there back in '08 or something like that. And it has not changed one bit, but everybody knows that it's like, okay, we're playing Topeka. Where do we go? Booby trap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much how it is.
I was like, I can't even think of another venue slash bar in Topeka besides the booby trap, But I mean, I guess that's good for the booby trap,
I mean, it's either anytime I hear Topeka shows, it's either the booby trap or it's like out in a field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's nothing else that you hear about. But I know like Kansas City, that place is there's excuse me, there's stuff there all the time.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
love Kansas City. Yeah, we actually been playing in Overland Park at Viva live events quite often here over like the last like year or so. With like Barrage and Twisted Dragon, and hopefully I think we have a show in April with our good friends Orion Falls. We are Orion, I think. I think it's just got to get all scheduled in and whatnot.
Because I've seen some of those ones because I kind of pay attention to obviously most of Nebraska, and I still got ties down into Kansas, and I see stuff about that Vivo Live event, and then I know they got like the skate bar out there, and then I've been wanting to see Twisted Dragons because I hear solid things about those guys. I'm like the
Yeah,
bands
they're
you guys
they're
and the
pretty
bands
good.
you guys just mentioned. I've heard stuff about them. I try to not with like doing like the reaction review videos. I try not to listen to stuff because then it doesn't give that authentic reaction to it because you're like, oh, I've seen this band live 12 times and I'm reviewing a song that I've seen for that I've recorded 5 times for them, and it just kind of it loses that feel. But yeah, just with the way that like I know the guys in the stash are always talking about them and they're always posting stuff about those guys like you guys and other bands and all underground stuff. Kind of helps having that little ear to the grindstone because then you can catch all kinds of different stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Twisted Dragon is really cool. They're from the same town that I'm from. um,
Actually,
yeah, they
Garrett played a show with us in Ottawa this last summer because
yeah.
we had to
He's the
cut
drummer of
ties.
Twisted Dragon. If you don't know.
Yeah, we had to cut ties with our other drummer, and it was like a few weeks before the show, and we were scrambling to find a drummer. I think Landon came up with the idea to hit up Garrett or whatever, and then yeah, we got it squared away. He learned our entire set in like 2 days. I was
Dude, it was
impressed.
it was one of the most impressive things ever. Like we showed up to the rehearsal. He was like, "All right, these the songs." I was like, "Yeah," and then he got it pretty much first try. And we went over the set twice, and we went into the show with some confidence, and it was like, okay, it's like Garrett knows what he's doing, and then he just literally nailed everything that night, and it was like, this guy is insane.
Yeah, dude definitely has some chops. Mad respect for him. I would love to share a stage with him again. Either with Twisted Dragon or him having, back behind us. He's freaking great.
Right on. Yeah, I know. Because where are you guys actually kind of based out of? Because I forgot to check that.
Well, we say Lawrence. Kalon's from Lawrence, and when we started the band, I was going to college there. Um, but I'm from Ottawa, and we were kind of based out of Ottawa for a few years because that's kind of just where everyone ended up moving, which is a little south of Lawrence, if
Yeah,
you don't know.
I've
Yeah.
kind of been out in that direction a few times. I mean, I got some family that live out there, and so I know like I ended up seeing Oxytoxin from out in your guys' area. Those guys are solid too. I enjoyed watching them.
I've heard about them. Yeah, they seem pretty good.
They're definitely kind of reminded me like they're a solid rock band. I wouldn't go like to the extreme like extreme metal, but like definitely a solid rock band. Like kind of like a 3 Days Grace type feel. I mean, definitely worth checking out.
Yep.
Okay.
That's kind of funny how you like describe them because when we started this band, I remember it was with me and our old bassist in my bedroom, Travis, and it started off as the project we were gonna go towards like the alternative rock route, kind of like Muse, and like Radiohead. That's the way me and him wanted to go. And then this motherfucker over here, he comes in, to jam with us, and he's like, "All right, I'm in drop C. What are you guys in?" And we're like, he was like, "We're in standard tuning, but okay." And he was like, "Well, don't be a bitch. Let's drop this shit." So literally, we ended up dropping to C, and literally after that jam sesh, it's been straight metal, and we've been, trying to pass off as metal, what we thought we consider as metal, but over like the last couple years or so, I would talk to some people, and they would describe us like at that time as like a very heavy rock, borderline metal, And this entire time, I was classifying us as metal, and I was like, well, if like my good friends are saying that we're not heavy enough to really be metal, then I was like, we gotta, pump some shit up.
I
So
definitely say you guys are in the metal category. Like
yeah, so
with what I heard on this one, definitely reminded me of like early Soulfly, like some
oh yeah,
Sepultura, and kind of like there are parts of like Amon Amarth where it's just like it just has that feel where it just really gets your something about it. Just gets that blood flowing and just pump it where you're just like okay.
yeah. This album was to me, it was definitely it's a proving a point type album of like it's a kind of proving wrong to everybody that said that like you're just a rock band or whatever, or like you can't do this, you can't do that.
He's
It's
got a
also
little.
a point to where like other bands saying that like we're not gonna get that big, or like this our albums aren't gonna be that great. So it's just a matter of fact of like we're here, we're not here to fuck around, and you're gonna have to deal with us for the years to come.
Oh yeah, I like when I before I talked to you guys, I kind of shot a quick album review video, and like I gave it a solid 4.5 stars out of 5. So I
Thank
mean,
you.
it's like, and it just the thing with some bands, like you'll listen to their album and it's like it plays and then end of track, and then you can tell when they start the next track because it like will have like that slow intro or it'll have a completely different intro and there's not that flow to it where you can just hit play and you're like, okay, man, this is a long ass song, and you're like, oh, I'm on track 4 now.
Yeah, flow out fluidness is definitely something we're huge on, especially live, because our first few shows um we were green as fuck, and then we would record all of the videos, watch back on it, and me and Landon are like, we need to make things more smooth, and
we
then
got we got scarred for life watching those videos.
But that also it also helps because when you like a lot of people. I mean, I know like I'll go out and record them, and I've had bands that are like, dude, we went back and watched it just to, and then you watch them again 6 months later, and they've changed things. Or like Hourglass, when I saw them, I saw them back in October, but I'd seen them about a year before that. Like the whole time, the vocalist is back to the crowd, the whole thing. This one, he's up front, engaging. He's getting into the crowd. It's just like, okay, uh, maybe it was a video that I recorded helped you guys or whatever. But yeah, watching playbacks where you can go, okay, I need to change something there. I need to do this different, or it helps add to the stage presence and the performance that you guys are able to put on, which gives the best to the people that are paying to come see you guys. And then
Absolutely.
you watch a great performance, and you're like, shit. Let me grab a T-shirt and a CD, or let me grab, a koozie or a sticker or something, and then you're repping the gear for the bands, and then people are like, hey, who's that? And it
It's
all works out.
yeah, it all just like stacks on top of each other at that point.
yeah.
Because I'd rather go watch a band that, saw it all the way through than, like, I mean, I've been there with doing, like, music where you'll sit there and you'll do your set, and it's like, okay, we got a tune, and then you'll see, like, everybody stop and they're all tuning and just kind of,
That was
Yeah,
definitely
got that awkward silence to it.
yeah, that was definitely us the first few shows, and then I told Tyler to at least do some bass kicks or something to fill in the time. But this past, I would say, year and a half, almost two, um,
It's got to be
because
2 years.
we realized we really got to try and stand out in this, like, because we really formed a local scene here, and I was like, well, we really got to stand out because we're starting to play with a bunch of the same bands on the same bills but different venues.
yeah.
So I had the great idea to make us stand out by we did this.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yes, I had this idea like last March or so, and then we have remotes. It changes colors, changes strobes or whatever. So, and then we got wireless guitar or wireless things, and now we go into the crowd and we like play around in the crowd, interact with the crowd for about like a minute or so, and then we come back in, do a guitar battle, whatnot, and really just try and stand out as much as possible. We have a saying: we don't play sets, we play shows. That's our motto for
Yeah,
the time being.
Definitely.
yeah.
That's
You
a
you
Go
you'd
ahead.
be you'd definitely be surprised like the amount of people that has like been caught off guard whenever we like jump off the stage because like we've already played like most of the time it's like 2 or 3 or 4 songs by the time that we do this, but we have this like little interlude, um, and we jump off the stage and we start interacting with everyone and everyone's like what the hell is going on here, and then it's like yeah, we circle each other and kind of building anticipation of like what the hell is happening, and then we just have a solo battle back and forth for like 3 or 4 phrases each, and yeah, the amount of people that catches off guard and the amount of cell phones that come out and like people coming up just like, oh my god, like it's something so simple but so like just exciting for people to watch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of the time people are like it's like you said, it catches people off guard, but at the same point in time, like it takes a lot to be able to go, well, let's go do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you could, you bump your guitar and then suddenly you're in the middle and you're out of tune because somebody ran into you, or you ding the head on, the staircase getting down, or
Yeah.
but it pays off in the end when you actually see people doing that.
dude. Yeah, and speaking of like throwing it back to metal stock, this past metal stock that we performed at, we got off the stage and we did the whole thing, and you can actually there was a video I watched. Somebody sent it to me, where we were going like back and forth on the solos, and what was my high E string at the time, it broke in the middle of my solo. And I was doing some like tapping stuff too, so it's like it caught me way off guard. And then not only that, I think that was the second string I broke that night because I broke my E string as well. So it was like they were just popping off like flies. Honestly, it was bad.
Yeah. It was like 30 degrees.
Yeah, it was cold. So
Well, yeah, that's kind of the downfall about like the outdoor live shows is the temperature plays a big has a big effect on the gear,
hmm
because
Oh, yeah.
especially like just metallic strings, yeah, they get
yeah.
cold. They're easy to pop. They get too
For
hot,
sure.
they'll slice the hell out of your finger. But
Well,
yeah, it's definitely, but it always leaves people with that where it's it's always good to be talked about as, dude, did you see that band, versus like, man, that band's not, those guys suck live, man. I don't know what the hell they were doing. They were up on stage fighting, where it's like I went to a show. It was a 2-day festival up here, and the first day this band performed, and then the next day everybody was still talking about them. So like they're I call them a bunch of kids. I mean, I'm kind of like the old guy now in the music scene. I'm 38, almost 39, but like anybody in their 20s to 30 is kids.
I understand that. Honestly, we feel freaking old, and we're like some of the youngest people on the scene right now.
Yeah. Yeah. We're like coming to the fact that like we're about to turn 23 and 24.
Oh
You know.
shit!
I know, right? And
I,
like all of our other friends are like at least in their 30s, close to 30. Because the cool thing about like our band too, because we high school, I just graduated, and so did Tyler, because we're graduating 2018, and Travis and Landon just graduated like the year before, so we're all like fresh out of high school. So when we started this band literally straight on, we walked into the bars, we would always get, you know,
as he freezes.
you're supposed to
Yeah.
be.
Oh no.
And then we would end up just blowing their minds, just blowing them away. So
There,
that's like
there
oh,
was
go ahead.
there's one story from that like era of the band. It was like our first album was out, which it no longer exists, but it was cool at the time. Our first album was out. We were kind of doing like this tour thing with it, and we were performing in St. Louis for this. It was like a biker bar, and we walk in, and I will never forget this. Is we walk in, we're carrying our gear in, and this is like our last stop on a week-long tour, and we're just like, okay, this is exhausting. Like, why'd we do this? And we come into people like looking at us, and they're like, you guys here to watch a fucking soccer game or something? like, we're like, what?
Yeah, because
And,
I got a mom ban.
yeah, and the guy who actually said that ended up throwing us like over $100 on the stage because he loved us so much that night. It was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, those little types of stories are always funny to hear because I know like a lot of the times the way certain bands look, and then you see them on stage, like you got a Captain America shirt on. I mean, I've got a Shredder hat on. You got Avenger stuff. I've got Iron Man, GI Joe. Let's see, that was the Gunsmoke session one that I took my kid to. Then I got Fairy Tale. So I mean, like a lot of us are just giant fucking nerds on top of being just these
Yeah,
really
right.
angry, aggressive guys on stage. Where it's like, hey, yeah, okay, well, hey, let me get on stage really quick, and then people are like, okay, oh, he's up there, and then and then like, what the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
I love hearing the reaction from people who are like friends with my fiance because they're definitely not like the metalhead type, but like yeah, hearing their reaction, especially from like work, just like it's like, oh yeah, this song was kind of written slightly about me, and like all this, I love this song from, and they're expecting some like nice acoustic stuff, and then she shows them, and it's just like, you know, some blast beat stuff. They're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I remember doing the band stuff, and yeah, I'm goofy guy outside, and then on stage, it's a different fucking monster that you can unleash and just let go, and people don't always expect it or see it coming, and that's always the fun thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll walk through the house and I'll just start singing some random song, and my kids are so used to it anymore. They're just kind of, oh, let's see. I had
That's
some,
awesome.
let's see, questions. Okay, we went over that one. What kind of plans do you guys got for this year for like shows? Obviously, we got the album coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Is that?
February 24th.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely a couple of weeks away.
Yeah. Um, so our plan this year, we're definitely not gonna be as active live as we have been in previous years. Um, I would say, we're gonna play a couple times in Kansas City. We're gonna try to shoot up to Omaha, um, go down to OKC if we can find a promoter. The hard part about this year is if it's not Kansas City or like Wichita, then we don't really have many promoter connections anymore just because it's been so many years since we've been to the other places,
Yeah.
like pre-COVID. Um, so we kind of have to build up our networks, both north and south, as much as possible, and we're just gonna kind of get our foot in the door in those areas again, if that makes sense.
Well, I know Lincoln has a massive scene going on right now because I think it's next weekend I'm going up there, and there's a benefit show for KZUM, the local radio station for bands, and he's got a benefit show going on. I think there's like 15 bands over 2 days, and they've got the Lincoln, what is it, Lincoln Exposure or something like that, and
Yeah,
every night there's I think 5 or 6 bars and like 6 bands per bar. I mean it is ridiculous, and I started counting like there's 80 bands over a 3 day time frame.
I saw the flyers for that. That's freaking insane.
Well, and like I got to looking, and I'm like, okay, how can I pull as many bands off as I can as being one guy running around doing this? Luckily, a block and a half up. Well, there's Gray's Keg, and then a block and a half up is the Bourbon. Right across the street is one bar. Around the corner's another one. You come back this way, there's another one. I'm pretty sure the other one's just maybe down the block. So they're all like right there. So I'm like, okay, I need to get like a 2-day pass, and I'm just running the whole fucking day. But yeah, those
Yeah.
like Lincoln's definitely got a scene. I know Omaha. I see a bunch of stuff coming out of there because I know some of the bands that are always up in that area too. And there's a bunch of good
Yeah.
dudes up there.
Yeah, we have some good buddies up there in Omaha from our like first previous runs up there. There's a band called Brilliant Takeover, but over the years, like during COVID, they like kind of split up or whatever. So a couple of their members went off and founded another band called High Card Killer, and so we're trying to work our way in there. Because I've definitely heard it's a little bit harder to get into Omaha, if you don't already have a connection there. So, we try and get on a bill with High Card Killer, and then we'll bring them down here like we did with Beryllium a few years ago.
Definitely doing like the old school motto where it's like, all right, you get us up there, we'll bring you down here and trading shows and everything.
Yeah.
That's always
It still works. It still works.
and it's always cool because I mean, you work with enough bands or you see enough bands, and you talk with them, they'll let you know like, hey, get with these guys, you'll be good. Trade them some shows, they'll trade you some shows, and then you always get those bands who are like, hey, let me jump on this bill. Hey, let me jump on this bill. Hey, man, we've got you on 3. You got to get us a show in your area. Oh man, just give us one more, and then everybody starts talking about those bands where it's like, dude, they don't promote, they don't give shows back, they just
Yeah, they
so
just want to play.
yeah. Well, I mean, I get the wanting to play, but you also got to put in a little
Yeah,
bit of work, like
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
for sure.
and like I know for my feed on Facebook is always like band, concert, new album, new song, new song. Hey, check this out. Hey, new, you know, some band thing, and they're just always doing it. But it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
definitely our major thing this year is marketing. Um, we have not been great, really, marketing wise, over the past couple of years. But I mean, this year it's like 10 toes times 100 on marketing. I mean, it. Our goal is to get to the point where we want you to be annoyed of seeing our ads. Like we want you to be absolutely sick and tired of just seeing us. And that's the goal.
Well, and that also means you're doing your job when you're getting like the messages from friends like, dude, 14 in a row was
Exactly.
what I got from you. 14 in a row, and then it was one from my mom, and then it was another 12, and then I had one post from my girlfriend, and then another 10. Like, will you knock that shit off? Nope.
Yeah.
Time to add it up. We're going to make a post about this. And there's
Yeah.
also just like the social media thing is like just with me being one person trying to do what I do, and you guys basically being a group of 2. Like there is a ton of legwork and a ton of extra time. Like you get home and it's like, okay, I gotta post about this show, or I gotta get with these people about this show that's coming up, or I gotta hit up when we're doing practice, or I gotta do this, and then you're like, finally by like Sunday, you're just like, okay, I can have a day off. Nope, today's practice. Fuck.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Trying to set up this last single release because we just released Day by Day a little over a week ago. Um, Trying to get that single release to hit off smoothly and then work into getting the album release to go smoothly and getting all the marketing and stuff set up for all that. It was a week of just constant like go 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 go, pulling all nighters of trying to do that and also doing uh, the day job and everything. It was a lot.
Oh yeah, I fully understand. It is a thing that people don't. Most normal people that have never been in it don't understand. They're like, oh, you get up on stage and you do that and you're a big rock star. It's like, no, I gotta work 40 hours a week, and then I still have to do housework. I gotta do things, make food. I gotta go do stuff with a significant other. I got kids I gotta go take care of, and by show day, it's like it's my 1 hour that I get my drug because it's a
Yeah.
whole it's a drug all on its own that only people that have been there, like, it's not karaoke style drug where you're like, oh, I got drunk and I can sing, Wheels on the Bus or whatever. It's there's a whole different high that you get when you get off stage. You're just like, okay, I like that.
Oh yeah.
When we were on tour, I always said that like the 23 and a half hours leading up to your set absolutely just fucking sucked. But those 30 minutes make it all worth it.
It does. I mean, like, I'll hit 2 day festivals and I'll stay in the area, and then it's like, okay, what do I do? Like, I'll wake up at like 9 or 10 in a truck stop, and it's like, okay, show starts at 4. Okay, I got 6 hours to kill. What the hell do I go do now?
Yeah, right.
And with it be like in the summer, well, spring, summer, and fall, it's easy because I can go out and photograph nature, look at some of the other, like, I go walk through cemeteries and take pictures of headstones. But like wintertime, it's like I don't want to go do anything. Like,
Yeah.
it's cold. I just want to stay in my vehicle, but gas is so damn expensive. I don't want to have the thing running.
Hmm.
I remember sleeping in Landon's car in a Walmart parking lot, having to
That was
sleep.
stupid.
We had to stay in Landon's car, and our buddies Landon and or Travis and Tyler, they went ahead of us, and we thought they were like 30 miles down the road. They stopped at a hotel 60 miles before us. So we ended up just crashing in a Walmart parking lot. Landon kept his car on, and I remember specifically, I finally got to sleep. And then this dude like moved his foot and like revved the engine. It woke me up, and I couldn't get back to sleep for the rest of the night.
I honestly thought I almost blew my engine because like I was pretty much asleep and I did one of those things, you do that. Like my foot just like mashed on the gas pedal while we're in park and we both wake up to it. It's like, oh my god, what's happening?
I'm awake now. I'm awake. Let's go ahead and get on the road
Yeah.
again. Fuck it.
That's fun because actually that was on our way. That was on our way to Nebraska to
Oh
from
yeah.
Louisville because that was on our second leg of the tour. We went up to Louisville, and we like it was me and Landon and Travis and Tyler. We all drove separate, and then oh yeah, we about died on the way to Louisville. Oh man, it was like rainy, cold, windy. Landon didn't have any suspension in his car. So we were passing a semi on the bridge, and then we were about to get like passing to the semi, and I look over, and the semi doesn't have like those like flaps to guard the air so you don't get sucked in, and all I'm thinking is we're gonna die and this is gonna hurt.
He was having some serious anxiety issues that day.
Oh man.
Where's my meds? Where's my meds?
When we went to New York, um, Landon had so much anxiety. I actually had to put his jacket over his head while Travis was driving, and I had to do the same thing in Louisville because it was just too much, man.
Oh,
So yeah, imagine this. We're 18 and 19 years old, right? And we're dumb enough to be like, hey, you know what would be fun? Booking a tour all the way to New York City and back. Like, let's do that. And so we go there. It was like 3 or 4 days before we're supposed to leave for this tour, to go to it was the leg that was going to go to New York City, and the car that we were gonna take, um, Kalon hits a deer with it. So all of a sudden we have to borrow my mom's SUV because it's the only other thing that will fit all of our gear with the time that we had. And so we're in my mom's car. I am fresh off of a summer where I just ran into the back of a semi coming back from Cincinnati from a Stone Sour and Corn show. So I had like severe like PTSD when it came to other people driving. And, so we enter New York City. It's bumper to bumper. we're in like Times Square. People are aggressive. I'm in the back seat, just. Like, everyone's like, "Dude, Landon, you good?" I'm like, "No, bro."
I remember we drove through the heart of Times Square, and we're from little ass dinky bumfuck Egypt, Kansas. We didn't know. We literally didn't know. We drove through right the heart of Town Square until we got into the parking garage, walked, and then we're like, wait a minute, we were just here. Wait a minute, this is Times fucking Square.
This is that shit I see in the movies all the time.
Literally,
Yeah,
it was such a cultural shock to us, man. It was insane. By the way, if you want to go to New York, no, you think you want to go to New York. Fuck New York.
Yeah, I
Just
went
leave
up
it for
to
the movies.
Connecticut for work one time, and everybody's like, "Hey, let's go to Boston," because it's only like an hour and a half, and I'm like, "Well, that would be all fine and dandy, but it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
I'm not going to Boston because if they lose, there's gonna be a fucking riot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am not dying because of Celtics fans."
Oh man.
Okay, you remember the blonde girl at the concert? I was like, yeah, I'll talk to you in a minute. Oh, my bad.
The blonde girl at the concert. All right. Remember that blonde girl at the concert?
Intrigued now. I'm kind of intrigued.
Eh.
Oh.
Who is that?
Apparently she was a lesbian. Poor
Oh,
Jordan.
well, congratulations for her.
Yes.
Okay.
Things like me, though.
But not congratulations for a boy Jordan because he was trying last night.
Hey, at least he was giving a shot, man. He was trying.
Hey, yeah. Yeah.
He thought he might be able to hit that one and be like, all right, we pulled one in from the other side.
My wife actually got him a British girl's Instagram that was performing last night at the replay. So we got him that.
Hey, that's still pretty good.
Hey, I was like, it was winning. Speaking of that, believe it or not, the last night was my first time going to the replay lounge. You know, even like I've performed / I've even headlined at the Bottleneck before, and I've never been to the replay lounge. It's a fun place. I didn't know it was like split into like two different like entertainment areas, you know. So like outside, there's like an outside area, you know, where there's like a DJ, and then there's like, you know, the stage side, and yeah, I like it. Drinks are too expensive over there.
Most of the time anymore, drinks are too expensive.
I
Like-
mean, I understand like $4 a beer, but $5.50, nah, that's where you lose me.
Is that
That $5 mark.
$5.50 for a can?
Thankfully, it wasn't a can. They would have gave me a can if they didn't have bottles. I ordered a bottle of Corona, but my gosh.
Yeah, I'm so glad I don't drink anymore. I'd go broke.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point now where all these venues, we actually just bring our own liquor, you know, and then just like get cups, you know, and just make drinks in the back and bring them in because fuck that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, we need you guys to pay to play, but we're gonna charge $12 for a Long Island iced tea, and it's like, I'm pretty sure you guys are making some money on this bar because
Yeah.
I know people in Kansas can drink, I know people in Nebraska can drink, so yeah, it's always interesting anymore, especially with all the stuff that you see online where it's, you know, major bands aren't making money on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you should always go independent artists, because buy copies of CDs. Because streaming
Exactly.
doesn't do streaming. It's like what 0.003 cents per stream.
Yeah, it's something ridiculously low. I remember in college actually, I made I was in like some public speaking classes, and we needed to do a persuasive argument, and one of the ones that I did was Spotify needs to pay more, the streaming services need to pay more, and it was interesting to actually hear some of the lashback from the people in the who I was giving the speech to. Like, yeah, I don't know. People who aren't involved in music have an interesting idea of how it goes.
Well,
I guess.
yeah. I mean, well, and then like the favorite one is you always get somebody who's like, "Hey, let me get a free T-shirt."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how about you like not buy those 4 beers and then you could buy a T-shirt?
The way that I've been doing, I've been making comparison to like prices is like when people say, "Oh, I don't know if I have enough money or whatever," I'm like, okay, but I guarantee you'll spend about 150 bucks for nosebleed seats for some stupid artist, you know, and then another 300 bucks on merch, alcohol, and food, you know. And I was like, or you can drive 5 minutes down the road for 10 bucks and have the greatest time of your life. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because I know from just with what I do, there's so many local artists or underground artists that are as good, if not better, than like the mainstream artists that you always hear on the radio. And
Oh,
that's
I won't
always
lie. There's yeah, for
that.
sure. There's been times where I've seen artists way better than any mainstream artist. You know.
I mean, there are those artists that you're like, okay, I'll pay the concert ticket to go. Like Lamb of God, I
Mhm.
would pay the $60, or like Ozzy, I'd pay the 120. But I would rather have seen Ozzy 15 years ago than I would this last leg of the tour,
Yeah.
because that had to be disappointing. But like, yeah, like the
Yeah.
punk fest that was going on last summer, where it was like $1,000 to get in, and it's like I can't justifiably pay for a bunch of artists that haven't done anything in 10 years. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Hmm.
Especially, I think
Yeah.
you get to a certain age where like you can like you've got a major record label and they're pushing you, and you're punk. Yeah, okay, Green Day, shut up.
Yeah, we're that way. We'll definitely pay. We'll pay for some of our just bands that we've grown up with. Um, for me, it's definitely Slipknot and well, one that actually we found because me and him went to a Slipknot concert when they came to Wichita was Wage War. Like I have been obsessed with them lately for some reason. They're just like they're metalcore, but like I really don't know why I'm so obsessed with them lately. It's been nothing but that on my Spotify.
Huh.
Because originally, I because that concert was on my birthday. I really wanted to go because they were supposed to have Ginger on there, and I wanted to see Ginger a second time because me and him saw them at the Granada, and I was like, all right, that's definitely like a solidifying factor. Like we're going. It's my birthday. Ginger, Slipknot. Let's fucking go. Well, fucking the war over there started. Like 2 weeks before Knotfest happens. So they ended up getting Wage War, and we're introduced to Wage War now, and they're pretty fucking dope. And concert tickets were like $100 for the pit,
Yeah,
surprising.
those ones weren't bad at all.
Yeah,
But I had to do some digging though because a lot of them, like on every other website, was like 250, plus.
dude,
But
those scalpers for those shows are insane. It's like you gotta find the right website, or else you're gonna be
yeah,
paying $300.
Man, I'll
yeah,
always take a $5, a $10, or 15 or 20 concert that I
I
gotta
was
drive an hour and a half to go catch.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
surprised because for the most part, because like if it's not like a you know humongous band, like fucking Slipknot or whatever, like most tickets are usually only about 40 to 50 bucks each, because like with Gojira they were like 40 bucks each, like for the general admission, I remember, or something like that. And then like Granada was only 25. I ended up paying both for me and Lane's ticket because it was so damn cheap. So
That's
like surprisingly, tickets can be cheap. It just depends on who you go see.
and where you catch them at. Like
Yeah.
the Granada's not that big of a venue.
No, I didn't realize
I'd say it's
it was
what
that small.
capacity maybe 500.
Yeah, it was a sold out show when we went to go see Ginger.
Yeah, I mean it's not that it's not like the arena tours that you're paying twice or three times the amount, and you're like, yeah, I saw 'em. They were this big.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I saw
you're
Metallica
right.
finally. They were this big on stage. They were this big on the jumbotron.
Yeah. That's that's part of the reason why I never went to go see Tool either, was when they did their whole reunion thing, was because it was literally like $300 for nosebleed seats, and I was like, this is insane. Going to the, now what is it, the T-Mobile Center, and being like all the way the hell up here, and it's like, oh
I can just stay at home, push play on it, and take a hit of acid and be good. Have the same experience. But yeah, it's the concert stuff anymore. Like I ended up going and seeing a band called Insight for like $15 in Lincoln, and
Mhm.
it's I think it's Ricky Cavalera, which is Max Cavalera's son. Fucking cool as hell band, was hanging out. Like there was one point that night I ended up getting a picture of that. It was cool because they're on stage, they're a touring band, and the whole first two rows are all the local opening acts, and it was just fucking cool as
That's
hell to
pretty
be able
cool.
to see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, a lot of like, I'm glad I'm a metalhead because you can always catch cheap metal shows versus like a Taylor Swift fan who's
Yeah.
$12,000 for a
Yeah.
ticket.
It's tough to catch cheap shows of that.
Well, you could have like 20 years ago.
True.
Well, do you guys have anything you or any? How do people find you guys? We'll get that right at the end of this, so people know where to look for you. Obviously, I know Facebook.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. We're on all the major streaming platforms. The main one that we push for is Spotify, because a lot of people have Spotify, um, or Apple Music, I guess, because it's about the same thing. Um, yeah, you can find us at a lot of shows here in Kansas City in general, like Kansas City, Lawrence area. So
Right on.
yeah,
But yeah,
we
it's we'll definitely be putting this video out and then the album review one. I got a couple of places that I'm gonna start doing like blogs and stuff, and I think that's the right terminology. I can't remember what all the terminology for everything. Like you got a vlog, a blog, a writer. I don't know what the hell half the stuff is anymore. It's like, ooh, I
you
can
just
do
gotta
that.
do, yeah, you just gotta do what you gotta do, and hope people come.
Exactly. Or hope people like what you're doing, because
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the big thing. It
That's
doesn't
what.
work if nobody likes it. But yeah, it was definitely great chatting with you guys. We'll hopefully I can catch one of your guys' shows in time. I know the road trips are
Absolutely.
always rough to do because
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I work in a fab shop, so there's lots of hours physical, and then trying to hop in a vehicle and drive after that's always
Yeah.
especially during the summertime. That shit sucks.
oh yeah.
But yeah, we'll be getting this posted here hopefully this week, and then I'll get the album one. I got some errands and things I got to go run because I got to go. Can't be my YouTube guy. I got to go be an adult now.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that word.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna definitely be keeping up with you guys, and we'll catch you guys soon. It was great talking to you.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, you too.
You
Take
too.
it easy.